Okay, I'd like to talk about building the map itself and kind of the techniques and steps it would take to get started and kind of the ways you use the tools typically to build, at least how I typically build. What I tend to do, I like the wider halls and I'm not a big fan. I tend to build 1v1 and anarchy type maps. I'm comfortable doing that, and there seems to get a lot of gameplay with that, so that's where I'm at. You can start off by building a big single player map with missions and going from map to map to map to do that and creating levels and things like that. That's beyond the scope of this. Basically, what I wanted to talk about was just building little small 1v1 and anarchy maps that you can get your feet wet into building descent maps. And first thing I would suggest you do is, if you're really serious about this, is to get a piece of paper out and a pencil and just kind of sketch out on a piece of paper just some ideas of what you think might be good. Now this is normally you would a lot of times you improvise when you make a map. You'll just click a side and start adding cubes onto it and say, where's this going to go? What can we do here? And then add on to that and see if those are, if that's kind of the look you want to do, or do you want to kind of vision. But that can take a while and it's really distracting. I think you as the creator should look at this as a tool for creating the map that you have in your brain. And the quickest way to get that map out is to just put it on a big piece of paper, 8.5 by 11 or 11 by 17 if you got it. And just kind of put down the best angle you think would be, and just kind of get a general idea where to start your map. How do you want to incorporate it? Do you want to, have uh, a circle with stuff in the middle of it? Do you want to have an upper or lower level? Do you want to have tunnel ratting? Do you want to, have big hallways, dogfighting areas, this type of thing? And to do that, the one of the key rules to remember is to try to, even though computers are very fast, your network bandwidth and your pings and whatnot are really reliant on the size of your map and all the characters and stuff to send the data. So do be aware of that and try to consolidate cubes when you can if it doesn't affect the texture that you're going for. Sometimes with single cubes, adding, making it wider will take a secondary texture and repeat it. Excuse me. We'll repeat it on the map, and you may not want that or desire that look, so you need to plan for that ahead of time if that's going to be something you want to work out. Also, to plan ahead of time is if you plan on having any kind of, say for example, I put a box here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and I want to do, a wall thing here, whoops, a wall thing here where I, add on, and then I can start adding more walls like that. By the way, if you saw that when I added a new wall, it added a little single wall like that, it was because of these three. These three items right here are really important in adding cubes. This will add a normal cube. So if I click this, boom, there's your square. This will do a mirror of what I'm sorry, a extended cube, which is the same thing, that whatever size this is, it'll reproduce it there, which is really convenient. This will do a mirrored cube. So if you've got, for example, this cube is out and it's wide like that, and I want to do another thing, but I want to do the opposite of that. So I want to add that, and there's your little space capsule, and that's what mirrored cubes do. Now, if I were to take that cube and just do the middle to an extended cube, it'll extend that from the top of this point and the top of this point. It'll add this cube, boom, this size. It won't do this end on this side. It'll do whatever this is and repeat it here. That's cool for making another one. Then on here you could go back down to a normal cube, boom, and you've got there. I want to view the lines a little bit better, so I can see that. And I could probably connect these two together if I wanted to. So I would hit this side and hit space bar, hit this side, join sides, or Control S. Now I have an entrance into that section. That was easy to create. If I wanted to now create a curve from this space bar to this, tools, curve generator, select P 3 times. Here's my curve. I want to hit G to keep this tunnel. Say yes. Control M will deselect that tunnel. There it is. I have that tunnel. As we talked about, these two did not get joined, so let's space bar this side. Make sure it's set on side. Space bar that side. Come over here and select this side and hit Control S or join sides. That side is now joined. I can now add another cube if it's selected as normal up here, and that's cool. So now if I'm again with the rule of going in, waiting, shooting for them to come out, he kind of stuck in there, so getting rid of these two cubes will allow this person to get out, and this person now has to turn around or follow. Now if I take this cube and I add another cube onto it this way, I'm going to run into a problem, which is this cube beside it now can't join up to that cube. If I try to join these two, that's what happens. If that's what you want, then that's awesome. It worked perfectly for you. If I don't want that, then I would need to take this cube, and the quickest way would be just to hit this side and hit enter. Up. See what it did? We're on normal cube. It added a normal cube, so I don't want to delete that. Come back and hit extended cube, hit insert, and that'll put that in there and join these two up automatically. Typically when I'm building a map and I get this far and I'm deciding that I've got a few ideas, or I'm actually copying from a sketch, or actually, to be smart, I've already saved this map and given it a name, and I am continually saving, and it's not Control S. You have to go up here to the file and see that it's F3. So you can keep hitting F3 or file save, and do that often, because when you hit undo on some of these things, stuff can go crazy and you can do a lot of work and lose it. So like any other computer program back in the day, hit save a lot. Also think about what type of map you're going to be making. Do you want to make a single player map? Do you want to make a PvP map, a small map? Those are some other things you need to think about, because the design of a single player map can be, lots of tunnels, lots of open areas, robots are coming at you, there's secret hidden spots that wouldn't be fair in regular PvP play, or at least not, I shouldn't say fair, it wouldn't be particularly fun if it was a huge map with all these single or little secret places. But that's what you use for single player maps, those levels. So if you're going to be doing PvP maps, think about the flow of the map. Think about where people can be hiding. Think about the lighting that you want to have, the doorways, the blockades and barriers that protects you from fire that you can get behind quickly. Think about those kind of things. Think about if you do any Xboxing, Call of Duty maps, how they have buildings to get behind, rocks to hide behind, things like that. That's the same premise. And when is it time to texturize your map? So you're going along building a cool map, you've saved it and you've saved off, and you've got from your sketch, but I have not applied any textures yet, and we're just kind of adding as we go. Different things. So from here I can add like a normal cube, and I didn't have to do all that. this little wall now turns into a little peak spot that you can see through. That's something that's cool. Or I can just delete that altogether. And now it's a hallway. So yeah, just experiment. Okay, here's some other ideas. Say you want this plane, you can tag this plane um, if you've got the side mode here, and then just go to your cube and you can hit 9. Oop. This side, yeah, here. Oops, hit cancel. Let me do this again. Select the side, hit M, 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 M. Then go up to your block mode and you can hit your keypad number 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and they'll all move. And if I add anything, if I hit insert, boom, I inserted a whole side, which can save time. And then, you know, I can come back and select side mode and Control M will deselect that. I want to insert a cube here and a cube there, and I notice that this isn't lining up, and those certainly aren't joined. So I'm going to take this and pull it back with my 7 on my keypad. And then I want to select this side, hit spacebar, this side, Control S, and they join. Okay, getting started, getting the map flow going here. Getting a few more items, not knowing what I'm doing, but now what you can also do, say if you have a section right here that you say I got 4 cubes, I don't need all these 4 cubes. So you can delete these. They're not connected to anything. They're by themselves. I can take this side, space bar, this side, Control S. There's a new side. This side, hit space bar. This side, Control S. And now I have this side. Looking. So I would take this one, space bar, and this one, Control S. And I've got 2 cubes, but I don't like that. So that's about the best I can do unless I alter these cubes. Now if I alter these cubes and I delete this and I make this one more out there, I'd have to delete it first. Delete that one. I would need to go and see those 2 lines are connected. Every time you move one out, they connect. I would need to take that line and separate the lines. What just happened? Okay, hit undo. Oh, there's this one selected. Okay, so go back to side, click this side, spacebar, this side. Now I want this line to be separated. Okay, now those 2 lines are separated. So I can go back to side and click that and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20. And that's 20. Now I would delete this side and I would have to now make sure this is set on extended cube, insert, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20 for that. So now I've turned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into 1/2 and 1 box. I would need to do the same for this. So then I would take this one and delete. Now you got to remember when you're doing this, you have a double side and you have a single side. And you can't have a single side touching a double side. So this is kind of a puzzle in itself. Now these 2 can be joined, but if I do that, I'll have a side here like this. You see what I'm saying? And I won't be able to connect this to half of it. So I'll need to have these stay here the way they are for now. But this one I can hit insert and those two lines joined, but I'm going to do this for now. I'm going to hit that away, come back to this side, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 20 hits right there. And we're starting to clean this up a bit, and I can either if I want to connect these two, I have a couple of options. I can make this be a single kind of a passageway that way that shrinks down to that size, and then take this away and start messing with the sides here. Everything's in 5s and 10s. Now it's coming through. Spacebar, Control S as this. And careful on these corners. The sharper this corner gets, the harder or the more a ship will get stuck on it. So try to make these sides as even as you can. This is fine for a door area, so we can actually come here and start adding a door if you wanted to. So walls, standard door, one side, two sides, there it is. I want to keep going with my segments, so I'm going to add another one, insert, and what do we got here? We have anything else we can do? Let's go downstairs maybe. Yeah, let's put another one, and we'll hit a button down here. Sorry, let's go with the whole extended cube. Now if I go out like this, it'll create that extended cube for me without doubling up. And I like how that is, and I want to do the same over here. So let's see, if I delete that, what's happening is this side here needs to be flush with this side. So I can pull this back. These are just 3, 4, 5. I'm just riffing right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks about right. And then I want to insert one of those. So here's a couple of ways you can do it. You can also take this, extend cube, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come up. There you got that. I can delete this. And I want to join these two, so I'm going to take this, spacebar, this, I can do two different things. I can get the curve generator, which will do this, and P makes this kind of a curve going down, and that looks kind of cool. Hit G, and I'm hitting no, because what I want to do is make sure I'm hit on side. This is spaced, this is selected, join sides, and you create a straight. Okay, straight side. Now when you do that, you're going to see that your textures are jumbled up like that. They're not really, I mean, these are big, these are little. So what I tend to do is when I kind of get my design roughly shaped in how I want it to be. Then take a look at it, kind of imagine how I would fly through it. This needs to be joined with this. Okay. And I'm looking through the map. There's no sharp edges, no sharp corners. This looks like it is, but it's not. And anyway, once the map is done, I will select it all. Let me get it all in the picture here. Select it all, come to my textures, and align them all. And that aligned everything. Control M. And now I can go and do texturizing. I would select a plane, tag that plane. There's my floor. Whatever, there's my floor. Tag Control M, deselect that. Tag here, tag this plane. Actually, I want to tag these. Well, there's not enough textures. Let me tag these textures. Tag textures. I can make these whatever I want to make them color wise. Let's go with green. It's popular. Control M. I want to tag these textures, but you see the side will only be done because you can't get the other sides with that. And what I'm going to do is, instead of doing that, I'm just going to take this texture and copy it and paste touching. Paste touching. Paste touching. Paste touching. Paste touching. And just kind of, fill in the spots where there's not. This is just a small little map that is nowhere anywhere fun. Okay, so now that you've textured that, I want to texture my ceiling, so I'm going to tag that. I'm going to tag plane. That's all one color. Let me get green just so it stands out. And Control M. And that's basically what we're doing. If I want to add some second textures to this, say I've got this texture, I'm going to copy this. I want to add maybe a little caution tape onto it. I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to hit rotation, and I can move this up or down, and there we go, right there. Select somewhere else. Now if you've got a little bit extra there, you may be able to move it up. Let's see what we can do here. Oops. We're moving it up this way. Let's see, 32. Let's see, 33. 33 did it. Do we have anything on the bottom? No, we don't. Good, so that'll work. And that's how you adjust things like that too. So we've got that, and on this side we want to add another. Let's say a little. I want to right click on this shaft 133. It's showing a little bit down there. A couple things I can do. I can raise the floor up this line, so I would select that, and this is automatically selected. I don't know why, but it is. Oh, wonderful. Select line, and then you can adjust it that way. Okay, and then when you come back to this, select side mode again. You can refresh that and it'll be there. Adjust it how you want. That's one way, but you've got now a wavy bottom that you didn't have before. So the other thing you can do, is that where it was? One more up. There we go. The other thing you can do is, make sure you hit side mode, is if you refresh it and you still have that bottom there, is to just move it down. If it'll fit there, there you go. That works in there. We can add, if you add anything to a side like that, you could possibly run that. It won't look right. Let's perhaps find a different one. How about that? Alright, if I did that long thing on a long hallway, I'd have to start twisting it. Now we got 11.25 is pretty close. 22 it jumps to. So let's try 13. 13 is looking better. 13.5 probably. That looks almost right. Let's try 14. 14 it is. Okay, we move our, so we can create a border like that. That's how we could create that border. So you want to light this thing, you think it's kind of cool. Alright, let me copy this border by selecting the second one here. Make sure I get that. paste it on there. Now when I paste it on there, it doesn't look like the other. Because it doesn't keep the rotations. And this was 14. I wonder if negative 14 would work there. Boom. Alright, bring this up. You got your little wall way there. Your little thing here. We want to put in a reactor. We would put in a new cube so we can insert a reactor cube easily that way instead of coming back and telling it to be one here. Then once we have our reactor cube, we go to our objects and we can add an object that way and change it to a reactor, or we can come up here and insert an object, a reactor, which is the easiest way to do it. And now you've got a reactor. You've got an open doorway, so we'll need to close that off because who wants to look at a reactor? Wall. We want to put a standard door. Yep. Let's put that standard door. Make sure it's on door auto. Other side, door auto. Yep. Okay, looks like our walls aren't coming with us in the color department, so we're going to go to texture, copy, paste. And you'll see these doors and have a back texture of rock 21, which is your default color. You can select whatever this is and say 168. Come over here and type 168 if you want, or just copy paste it. Left click on it, you know. So just do that. That's kind of quick. And then if you've got them both like that, copy it, paste it. There you go. Take this, copy it, paste it. Awesome. Okay, so you've got a door to a reactor. How are you going to get out of this place? You need to get out of the room when the place blows up. So let's put an exit down here. And you can't just put a door on a wall. You have to have another cube. So let's go up to our normal cube setting. Boom. And let's put a wall here called a exit door, and that's going to be on this side and that side. And when you call that an exit door, once you pass that threshold, you are exiting the building. You do not need a long tail exit. Sometimes they put it in there just for the visual from this side, so if you want to do that and then start turning it or whatever, you know, that affects the vision that you see. You can't see the end of the tunnel. Alright, and that's in there. Save, make sure you save all the time. Lighting, let's go to the lighting. We're going to view shading now. What do we got? Ooh, we got nothing. Except for that one pilot. So let's go to view shading, turn that off for a minute just so we can grab everything. And I'm going to grab it all again. Go to texture, make sure we can see the bottom there. And while it's all selected, go to brightness and pull that sucker all the way up to the top, making sure that first and second are selected. Alright, then deselect it by Control M. This resets all the lighting or the brightness of all the textures to 100, and then we can go mess with them individually. So now we want to go and view shading, and you'll see, well, once we apply it, that the room is lit up. Now from this point I take it and I look at illuminant light, no light, 100% very bright. So this is our base, very bright. You don't want to go to no light, but you can go down to 50 or 20 or 5 or whatever. You can scale lighting to 200% here, very bright, and 0 being very quiet or very dark. Classic illumination, if you apply that, it looks, you're done. Boom. That's pretty cool. I like the way classic illumination works. It seems to work fine. You can go in different variations of this. You can get lighter. It just applies it based on the calculations of the dimensions of the room and the cubes and how they are in relation to each other. Different light objects, I guess. You can take and add a light. So let's go back here and copy this texture to the application clipboard. Come down here and find another light, and this light itself on this texture tab, there's also 3 tabs here. Lighting, click that, add it, turn it on. Then when you go into lights, dynamic segment light calculation is now in effect. So when I redo the lighting of this, it changes along with it. So let's see this. Yeah, it has the word light next to it. You can create lights off of that. You can adjust the different parameters. See how it's kicking off a little light from that? I don't know if you can tell very well. You get a few of them in there. And then you can adjust the brightness of that too individually. If you do that and hit apply, it'll get darker. But see, that stays brighter. Okay. What else? Waterfalls still work. Yeah. If you want to do a waterfall, say we're putting a waterfall in a tube or something anywhere, I don't know. We would have to select an area between 2 cubes and go to the wall setting, and we'll add waterfall. Boom. There's your waterfall on each side. Lava fall. Oops. We need to delete that side first. Delete. So lava fall. Yep. Delete. Fan. Put a fan in there. It'll put it on both sides. Force field. I'm not sure you can do this in D1. I think that's D2. Maybe D1 has them too. I don't see them very often. Anyway, delete all of those. Ooh, I hit delete all, so all my walls got deleted. Yeah, my doors got deleted. And if I hit undo, it may go crazy. Oh, it didn't. Good. Okay, well, let's see. View. Okay, my walls are still there, but my textures, so let me undo. There we go. Even further. So that's, yeah, how you do that. And experiment, play around, get to making maps, get to taking other maps apart, seeing what they're like, and, you know, going into Descent, open it up and playing it. Good luck.